Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. It is a great pleasure to welcome you here. My name is Leslie Porries, and I am Manager of Sector Strategy at water.org. First, I'd like to extend a special welcome to the Additional Secretary of the Ministry of Jal Shakti, India, Shri Bharat Lal. I also want to thank our partners and co-conveners, WaterAid, UNICEF, the CEO Water Mandate, and SWA for all their support in helping us organize this event. Our conversation today is examining both partnerships and finance for climate resilient water and sanitation, aka WASH. This roundtable will feature the business case for climate resilient WASH from Jason, as well as the WASH for Work Coalition and WaterAid, Evershed Sutherland, Diageo, and Brascom. We've got a lot of exciting speakers to hear from, so I will turn it over to Alex to kick us off.
Thank you, Leslie. Appreciate the opening. And as Leslie mentioned, I'm Alex Knezovich. I'm the Director of Operations at the Toilet Board Coalition, and it's a great pleasure to be with you all here today. Without further ado, Mr. Bharat Lal, Additional Secretary for the Ministry of Jal Shakti in India, I'd like to begin with you. In India's population of 1.4 billion, 300 million are affected by drought, with another 97 million affected by flooding. Water management is an important aspect of adaptation efforts. Better management means less waste and also allows for local aquifers to be relieved of stress and exploitation. In 2019, India has launched the Jal Jeevan mission to provide piped drinking water to all Indian households by 2024. Mr. Lal, what has the vision of the Jal Jeevan mission set into motion throughout the country?
Alex, good afternoon, and good afternoon to everyone. Thank you very much for having me here. And indeed, it's a privilege to be speaking in with such august audience. Let's understand the overall scenario in India. As you have noticed that since last 7-8 years, there has been concerted effort to improve the quality of life and ease of living. And our Prime Minister, Mr. Narendra Modi, is committed for environmental conservation and basically climate change. And you have seen that India, in last 7-8 years, it built 110 million toilets as a first step. 150 million families have been provided gas connection. So in a country like ours, where we have got 1.37 billion population, out of which around 70 million people are living in rural areas, I think improving their quality of life is the most paramount factor. Well, we have focused on renewable energy, and today we stand at 4th position in the world when it comes to install capacity of renewable energy. And 38% of our energy basket is basically renewable. Now, in this scenario, kindly see that 1/3 part of our country is basically water stressed. And ensuring clean water is one of the topmost priority for the government. So in 2019, Prime Minister announced a program, Jal Jeevan Mission, basically to ensure clean tap water to every rural home in the country by 2024. And when we started this program in 2019, only 17% rural household had tap water connections. So provision of tap water supply in a rural area was limited to only 17%. And from 17%, we have to reach to 100% by 2024 in 5 years. So that is the speed and scale which is expected for implementation of this kind of program. And there has been a method in this whole planning. First, as we all understand that in a country like ours, whatever rainfall basically takes place and little bit snowfall, so this precipitation has to be captured. And this precipitation has to be used because in our country, let's say average 25 to 30 days are rainy days. So whatever water we capture, we have to use it for whole year. And there are certain parts of the country where basically next year might be a drought year. So first and foremost, that if you have to collect, we have to harvest the rainwater, it means we have to stop open defecation. And that's why Swachh Bharat Mission and this toilet our sanitation campaign was launched in 2014. And today, India has become open defecation-free country. And secondarily, what we did that all water-related subject we brought at one place. So Ministry of Jal Shakti was created. And third, what Prime Minister keeps on saying repeatedly, that water has to become everybody's business. It should not be only government alone. So first, and to involve everybody, each and every individual in the country, basically every organization, civil society, international partners, we launched what we call Jal Shakti Abhiyan, our water conservation campaign in 2019. Of course, because of COVID-19, we had certain setbacks. But that campaign basically galvanized the whole country basically on water conservation, and basically it brought a new kind of water literacy in the communities, in the rural areas. And you understand that in our country, roughly 85% water is used in agriculture. So if our villages, our village community, our farmers, basically they get more enlightened, they have access to new technology and fund, I think they can start saving water. In this context, Jal Jeevan Mission was announced on 15th August 2019, which is our Independence Day. And basically this point, I think this Independence Day, the significance of the occasion is that in India, fetching water is the responsibility of women and basically girls, basically who accompany their mothers. So the most important part was that it was freedom from this drudgery to women and children, that water should be made available in their home. Pipe water in adequate quantity, of prescribed quality with adequate pressure and regular supply. So this mission started in 2019. We have to cover roughly 192 million households. 192 million households, plus schools, plus Anganwadi center or creches, plus hostels, plus community centers. You know. So roughly you can say that 200 million points we have to make available clean water. And since then, I think we have adopted a strategy. Most of the focus is on water security. That village committee has to be empowered. They have to be educated, trained, resources have to be put at their disposal, and they should be preparing their village action plan. And the village action plan basically contains 4 components: drinking water source strengthening and augmentation, drinking water supply, grey water collection and treatment and its reuse, and fourthly, operation and maintenance. So for this purpose, we have made a provision of $51 billion in 5 years. And when we have involved sector partners, all international organizations, including UNICEF, or WHO, UNOPS, and other our reputed trust and foundations and NGO, they are partnering with us at the policy level, at the capacity building level, at the training level. Second level is at the implementation level, where basically in villages, NGOs and civil society, they become partner in the form of implementation support agency. So they help villagers in planning, implementation, operation, maintenance, and management. Whereas the technical department are our public health engineers, basically they provide technical assistance to people. Last year, because of COVID, we realized the value of hand washing probably in much better way. And we launched a 100-day campaign basically to bring awareness among people to make provision of clean tap water supply, plus hand washing facility, and running water, tap water, pipe water in toilets basically in schools, Anganwadi centers, or creches, and hostels, community centers everywhere. The idea is that our children basically they should have access to clean water, pipe water supply. And today one can say that in India, from 17% coverage, we have reached to 44%. So today, roughly 84 million households are having clean tap water supply. We have started from 32 million and we have reached to 84 million. Similarly, 79% schools. In last 1 year, we have been able to make provision of clean tap water supply, including hand washing facility, including pipe water in toilets, and grey water treatment, as well as rainwater harvesting. Similar thing has been done in creches, where basically children have the access to clean water. What we have done, one more thing basically, that say capacity building of our public health engineer, because they are basically civil engineers, they have become public health engineer, and we are trying to convert them into social engineer and utility manager, because they have to handhold village community or village level institution. So this part is going on, and simultaneously we have started in big way water quality monitoring and surveillance. Our public health laboratories, which are having roughly 2,000, we have open to general public, and they can get their water sample tested. And people in every village are being trained, 5% in every village, who are basically, they can test and they can upload the data on the system. And our government agencies, responsible people have to take remedial action. So overall, basically, we are trying to achieve a water security where paucity of water does not become a limiting factor in our quest for socioeconomic development and economic growth. Over to you, Alex.
Thank you, Mr. Bharat Lal. Appreciate it. And the vision of India has permeated, I think, throughout the globe in terms of water and sanitation. Wonderful. And Mr. Bharat Lal, I'd like to come back to you now. So Perry's speaking about the extent of planning and some of the levers that have been pulled in the Philippines to achieve this progress and achieve the ambitious goals of 2030. The Jal Jeevan mission is also quite ambitious. Can you share with us about what are the levers that are being pulled specifically around partnerships and finance to hit the target on time?
Thanks, Alex. Well, as you understand that a program like this, which is basically scale is too big, and we have to implement with speed. So I think we are deriving a lot of strength from people's, power, and the whole program is implemented in decentralized manner. It's a basically community-managed decentralized program, and the approach is that wherever water supply system exists, it has to be augmented, retrofitted, improved, and made fit for next 30 to 40 years. And it should be JJM compliant, which means basically every family should be able to get tap water supply at the rate of minimum 55 liters per person per day of prescribed quality with pressure. So that is being done. Second thing is that let's understand that in India, for a country like us, now we are having 600,000 plus implementing agencies on the ground. These are local self-government. So in every village, wherever local source is available, basically they have to build single village water supply scheme. Wherever water quality problems are there, treatment plant has to be done. And 1/3 part of the country where local water sources are basically are having some kind of contamination or basically sustainable sources is missing. In those areas, bulk water transfer, distribution network, treatment plant, and then in-village water supply system. So this approach has been followed. But most importantly, to ensure that A, electricity consumption is less, B, people have less recurring costs. So we are going in a very big way, solarization of water supply schemes. Solar pump and panels are being installed. And wherever possible, especially in northern India, which is Himalayan range as well as forested area, we go for gravity-based water supply system. Similarly, we are using technology in a very, very big way. Digital governance is the key and basically driving force. So planning, implementation, monitoring, and including service delivery is managed through digital governance. So we are installing sensor-based IoT solution. In fact, all our assets are being geotagged. All our water quality monitoring is being done in automated mode, and we have learned a lot from COVID-19 testing protocol, basically. So those knowledge are being transferred here, that monitoring, implementation, and all those things should be done in a very decentralized manner. Lastly, what we have done that for a single village scheme, depending on population, we have also developed certain type design, and which can be locally modified. Similarly, for tendering, the same kind of procedure, item rate tendering, that in one go you do the tendering process, and people can implement the scheme as per their need, as per their understanding, as per their So end of the day, what we are trying to do is that to simplify the procedure, mobilize communities' strength in planning, implementation, and basically bottom-up approach. So they are involved with this survey, or so implementation becomes faster and much easier. And lastly, all this information, basically, if I'll request audience to type on their phone, JJM, Jal Jeevan Mission Dashboard. So this whole information up to village level, 600,000 villages information is available in public domain, on your laptop, on your phone, and you can see the planning, implementation, and modeling. So this kind of transparency in governance is helping in speedier implementation, faster implementation. So thanks, Alex, and over to you.
Thank you, Mr. Bharat Lal. Excellent. Well, we've had the opportunity to hear from, I think, 4 incredible case studies where we're seeing a framework for solutions, where climate resilient WASH, but also to larger ambitions around the SDGs and around the Paris Agreement, where we can learn from places where these approaches are working. So we've seen a vision of India, the policy environment in Kenya, the inclusivity and access in Bangladesh, and the planning of the Philippines. I'd like to now come to each of our 4 speakers for a final thought. So Mr. Bharat Lal, I'd like to begin with you. And my question is what excites you the most right now as you look ahead for your mission and for India in this space? What excites you in the morning to come into work and tackle this with your partners?
Well, Alex, when you see in the morning, we have a system where people working in the field, they send us photographs, video, and basically whatever has been done yesterday. And when you see those smiling photographs of women and girls having tap water in their homes, I think that gives a kind of sense of satisfaction. And that motivates us to do much better. And secondarily, when we see that drudgery of women and girls, basically, that is being taken care of. You see that diseases in certain areas which were known for waterborne diseases, especially children. If that information, that data is, and that disease is coming down, I think that gives us immense satisfaction to all of us, to my whole team who's working, to everyone. Thank you, Alex.
Thank you. Yes, absolutely. The impact in our sector, in water and sanitation, is palpable and is absolutely a vibrant motivator, I would imagine, for each of us. Thank you. And I also hear and receive well our storytelling, I think, is one that honestly, as a sector, I think we have room to grow. We do it well in our local markets, but particularly settings like these, platforms like these, where we can share what is working and the solutions and the positive impacts are paramount and important going forward.